afternoon, YouTubers. It's Sunday here, and I got back from the city some hours ago. It was, or it is, horrible weather today. It's really pouring down, and I thought, shall I go out or shall I not? But then those who are afraid of getting wet won't get any nice records. So I went to two different places today. One of my favorite stores I wanted to check out for some particular records, and I was lucky. I found some of those I looked for and some other stuff. So thought I'd start by showing you the best bits first. And after that I went to the Haymarket, Hötorget in Stockholm. Talked about that before, and managed to buy a big pile of different albums for a very, very low price. Some of them, since the price was so low, I managed to, experiment a bit. I don't know, some of the records I don't know if I'm going to keep, but some of them I don't know really what it is. So, but we'll get to that. We'll start by having a look at the good ones. Well, first of all, we have this one, a record that's been in the store for several years, and I've seen it so many times, and I thought, well, shall I buy it or shall I not buy it? And today I decided, today I bought it. It's can you read this? Ensemble Sky. Well, this is of course the group Sky, their first album, but it's a Soviet issue. The original issue was released in 1979. This is a Soviet issue from 1982, so it's before Perestroika, which makes it a bit more interesting. The reason why I've been hesitating about buying this is, well, I got the original version, so, but still, nice to have. And you can see, or I don't know if you can see, but it's all written in Russian here. It's not aimed at any market outside Russia. Well, the titles of numbers are, or the tracks are written in with both Cyrillic and in Russian and in Latin, in English then. So, well, got this one. And well, yeah. My first Pink Scroll Christmas. It's an American issue of Foxtrot by Genesis from 1972, I think. Issued by Buddha Records here or there in the United States. Very happy to find this, and it was extremely cheap. I was very surprised. I thought it was or would be a later reissue when it had such a low price. Yeah, another must-have Genesis that I now found. The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, with a big Mad Hatter label. For those of you who wonder, this is a German or Dutch issue, I think. I got a King Crimson, not one of the most sought after maybe, but still King Crimson. Beat from 1982 with Adrian Belew, Robert Fripp, Tony Levin and Bill Bruford. From 1982 on the EG Records. I talked about the Swedish singer-songwriter Mikael Ramel, and that I really ought to have some more of his albums because I have been such an admirer of his songs for so such a long time, and I only had a compilation CD before, which is really bad of me. Then I got one of his later albums from 1986, and today I got two others. This one, Strömavbrott, with Mikael Ramel and his group Har du lust. This is a promotion record, not for sale, with love from Sonett. It says here on the heart-shaped sticker here. And an older Mikael Ramel from 1977. I think this is his third album. Yeah, the name of the record is Tredje skivan, which means third album. This was a bit more expensive, and also a bit more sought after by collectors, his 70s material. Mikael Ramel. I found another Isildurs bane. This one from 1984. I'm not sure if the title of the record is Sagan om den irländska älgen, or if it's just called Isildurs bane on the Isildurs record label. And then finally, an album that I've seen a couple of times and thought of buying because I like the musicians that are involved here. It's a group called De Gladas Kapell, a record called De Gladas Kapell spelar Nilsson. And the members are Costa Petrea, Joey Wadenius, Stefan Nilsson, and Peter Sundell. Costa Petrea, great guitar player. Joey Wadenius, one of the best bass players that we've had. I think so. And this is an issue on the label Love Records. Not the Finnish, or a Swedish version of the Finnish label Love. It's called Svenska Love. All right, over to the records I bought at the Haymarket. The rain was pouring down on us, but there were rain shelters that kept us more or less, well, fairly dry. But since it was raining just above us, I took time to really check through all the records that he sold there. The record seller from Solna, who almost always on Sundays sell records at the Haymarket Square. So this big pile sorry, of around 30 records, I paid, how much did I pay? All in all, well, less than $1 per record. Less than $1 per record, maybe $25 per record. Yeah, not much. So I could experiment a bit and then also get some records that, well, it's good to have in the collection, although they are not the most important ones to find. Let's start with some Elton John records. I'm more a fan of the early Elton John, but here I have the chance to buy some of his later ones for not that much. Got Leather Jackets, The Fox, and A Single Man. Found some Manfred Mann Earth Band. Quite happy to find that. This is Chance from 1980 on Bronze Records. The Roaring Silence from 1977. And Watch from 1978. This one I may already have, but this copy looked much better. Electric Light Orchestra, a New World record, or United Artists. and an Electric Light Orchestra Greatest Hits collection, with mainly material from the 1970s. Then this, I'm not sure what it is, but it looked interesting. On Mercury, Paul Roche, I think it's, or Roche maybe. A Poet, a Man, a Mind. Not sure what it is, but it looked interesting. Okay, Swedish singer-songwriter Evert Ljusberg, Inte kan jag då gråta, on the YTF label. And now the Wings, or Wings, not the Paul McCartney Wings. This is some other Wings, and I know nothing about this. It's a Dunhill issue. And I'm just curious about this one. Johnson and Drake. Carried On. Tom Johnson and Guy Drake. On the Ovation label. And this is a quadraphonic issue. And I know nothing about this either, but it looked interesting. Maybe it isn't. Oh. Found some Crocus, The Blitz. I don't know if I like this, but I'll listen to it anyway. Jerry Rafferty then, City to City. This is the one with Baker Street on United Artists. Then this guy I don't know at all. Kim Beacon, Ravenna. It's recorded in Wales, so I don't know if the singer has some sort of, if he is Welsh or, but I'll check it out later. Kim Beacon. Okay, some great classical music, guitar music. Duodecima, it's guitar players Lars Karlsson and Mikael Jung. Music for 2 guitars on the Opus 3 label, which is a label that I like very much. Good quality recordings. On another issue in the series of Tax jazz compilations, Bud Freeman, Homecoming, with some scribbling by the former owner here. Not really sure what that's all about. I thought it was an autograph first, but no. Then this I may have already, I'm not sure, I haven't checked yet. But Stan Freberg, an original issue from the 50s, A Child's Garden of Freberg. As you see, torn here, but the record is in great condition, with a light blue capital label. This I may have already, but if I haven't, I've made a deal, because these are quite expensive. Jonathan Winters, Movies Are Better Than Ever, on Verve. I may have this already. Then this I know nothing about this. Mom's Apple Pie 2. And, well, it's on the Brown Bag Records. I don't know nothing about the record. I know nothing about the record label, nothing about this group. I don't even know what kind of music it is, but sometimes you can afford to be curious. Oh yeah, we have a 12-inch single here by Mavis Staples, Jaguar. 4 different versions here of the same tune. On the Paisley Park label. I like Mavis Staples. Jacoby Brings the House Down. Don Jake Jacoby. On the Pompeii label, which is somehow connected to the Atlantic and Atco. This may be very good, this may be not so good, I'm not sure. It may be a bit easy listening, but I like the cover. I really like the cover with him standing here around all the debris of the house that's been torn down. Great singer-songwriter Eric Anderson. Midnight Sun on CBS. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Let Me Up, I've Had Enough from 1987 on the MCA label. A great Israeli singer, I think, Ofra Hasa. She passed away some years ago. Desert Wind, I think this will be very interesting. Ofra Hasa. And for those of you who are keen on British comedy, British humor, that I think you like this. The Goodies. It's a compilation, The Goodies Greatest, on Bradley's Records. I rarely find albums by The Goodies here in Sweden, so I think this is just my second one. Oh, and this is, I mainly bought to please my dear girlfriend, who really loves the pianist Emil Gilels. She thinks he's the best concert pianist of all time. And after hearing him, I'm willing to agree on that. Emil Gilels, Chopin Piano Concerto No. 1 in E minor, Eugene Ormandy, the Philadelphia Orchestra on the Columbia Odyssey label. And this still has a shrink wrap, as you can see. Whew. Just a couple of more to go. This is a good jazz compilation. Jazz at the Cavalcade, 1951 to 54. Arne Donerus, Ulf Linde, Jack Lidström. This is a compilation of jazz that was issued on this 78 RPM label that was run by Robert Rönnström, the record collector. I mentioned that before here. Good jazz, very good jazz of the early 50s. Then this one, I'm not really sure if it's a bit on the easy listening, uninteresting style, but I have to say I like the cool cover here. The ballad style of Maynard Ferguson. I will listen to it and then see if I'll feel like keeping it. It's on CBS anyway. This one always turns up in the record bins, and now I bought it because, well, I like him, although I don't listen to him all the time. Well, Chris Rea, Dancing with Strangers from 1987. There's one Chris Rea song that I really would like on vinyl, and that's The Blue Cafe. But that was issued in 1997, so I'm not sure if there is a vinyl issue of that, but I like that one. If you see it, you know where to turn. Okay, this is more or less bought on a whim too. Rio Speedwagon. What's the title? Good Trouble on Epic. Okay, and finally, very interesting Swedish jazz singer-songwriter album, Svarta Motiv, on Stig Karlsson. But on the record we have Thad Jones, Nils Lindberg, and the singer Torsten Bergman. A very interesting mix here. An album from 1984, issued on the label A-Disc, which was a record label owned by the Social Democratic Party in Sweden. Yep. Sweden's own Melodia, but less successful. Alright, I hope you didn't get too bored, but that's the records I found today. And it was worth getting a bit wet for it. Definitely. Bye bye.